Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It's Black Thor Ice Water and yours truly, Puma. And man, the Super Bowl. We were counting down the days, Black. I don't want to say anything negative.
Oh, man, stop it. Come on now. You don't hold back. We don't do that on this show. We don't hold back, brother. Come on now.
I was expecting more. I was expecting more. Me and Ice were talking earlier. It's like they could have told us about the baby before. I didn't want to, because people were speculating. Even Pop texted me and like, I think she's pregnant. And so he ain't on no social media. He just sitting there watching. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, damn that ASAP Rocky. Damn you. Damn.
Mess that girl all up.
Messed her up. I'm like, and why they got her on this thing hovering over in that condition? I'm like, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Let's talk about the game. You want to talk about Rihanna? I mean, we counted the days, Rihanna. Riri. But I'm gonna go to you first, bro.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we was doing a three-way track, a text doing that. You guys have my stomach hurting, man. I couldn't stop laughing. I'll say this now, man. I didn't expect much, and I got what I expect, bro. I mean, I love her persona. I love who she is. I don't think this is the current day of talent, man. They don't, when you make them perform, they have nothing to give you, pregnant or not, nothing to give you, man. And it's just what was displayed to me on that. And it's interesting. 5 more million people tuned in to watch her.
Yeah.
113 million people watched the Super Bowl, and 5 more for halftime turned in. It tells you a lot about her, bro. I mean, it's just one of those things to where our nation, what we know is to be performers and music, is long gone, bro. And to me, when you view stuff like that, you got to view it in the segment or the perspective that it is. I could understand her. I'm like, what the F is she saying now? If you know the songs, I mean, I was ready to turn on my caption, things I can kind of see the words, but
yeah, the sound was not good. The sound.
No, it's just, and her being pregnant is one thing, but it's just, for me, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get off of, as Black entertainers, man, I just find it kind of hardening and upsetting because we have such a strong root of entertainers and a foundation, and these cats now, I mean, they come out there and they do nothing, bro, and people yelling and screaming because they out there and who they are. So it is what it is. Getting to the game, basically, good game, bro. Very good game, man. Top to bottom. I mean, it's kind of sad that Philly had to lose, but Andy Reid, I have to tip my hat to him before I get to anything else, because this cat, if you think about it, he's been in the league for a long time, and Andy used to be tight. He got a little tight in that first half with that field goal to me, too. He got a little tight, but he basically now found himself to where he's going to loosen up and just go out there and do what he has to do to win. And what they did in the second half, when they came out offensively in the second half and the things they started just basically tearing that defense apart, and that offensive line, man, that offensive line is something else too, man. That for the most part, Mahomes' jersey didn't get dirty unless he decided to run. If he didn't run, his jersey been clean all night. They're going to basically use it in a new TV commercial. Philly, I mean, to me, that quarterback hurt. I'm telling you right now, Philly won MVP. Even if they didn't win, the brother could have probably got MVP because that brother played without that fumble. He played one hell of a game, man. One hell of a game. And I don't know if you guys caught this. I saw this the next day. I didn't see it live, where I think it was looking at one play for a long period of time, and the head coach was standing next to Hurts, and he was kind of like doing something to Kansas City, kind of like, egging them on and doing something. And Hurts literally took his arm and pulled it down like, no, we don't do that, bro. Don't do that. And I'm like, wow.
I didn't see that.
Huh?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, man. He was like, well, he has a little rift in his head with Kansas City because they let him go when Andy Reid came there. So he was in. And Hurts was like, no, man, don't do that. We don't do that. And it's like, if you look at that, man, that's the maturity and the leadership that young man possessed. When you got to check your head coach in so many words, like, no, bro. In other words, I'm going out there to play. You're not out there getting hit. These cats are coming. Don't be egging them on, giving them no anything. But Philly, for the most part, called offensive and defensive for a while, called a very good game. Take nothing away from them. Nothing away from them. But I don't want people saying that call changed the game, bro. The call was correct. The call was correct. It was correct. He grabbed him. Don't get me wrong. A lot of that gets away. It gets away. You get away with it. But when the ref does his job, I'm never mad at him. And I'm going to leave a lot more left to say because I don't want to hawk up too much. But to me, very good game. And NFL should be proud, bro. At the end of the season on that game, that's how Super Bowl should be played. I'm not saying it should be high scoring, but very compelling. And you're not sure who's going to win towards the end. Even though I kind of figured Kansas City would take it because Mahomes is a bad boy, bro. That's a bad man. I mean, his father, I know he should be smoking 3 cigars at once. Like he raised a hell of a son, an athlete, bro. He really did, bro. He just did. That's a bad cat.
He said he's gonna be smoking blunts.
Philly blunts.
Philly blunts. I kind of I alluded to it last week, and I said that Philadelphia's defense tends to fade sometimes in big games, and I saw them fading in the second half, where I think Kansas City came down 5 straight times and scored. I mean, and just really kind of baffled the Philadelphia defense. Your thoughts on the Super Bowl and Rihanna and all that other good stuff?
I'm gonna start with the Super Bowl because that's something I feel a little bit more comfortable right now, and then I'm gonna get into whatever that part of entertainment was after I get done talking about the game because I might lose my train of thought if I don't talk about the game first. So let me focus on that. But Philadelphia came to play. They really did. You looked at how they went about it, the time of possession. You know, you think about it. They had the ball 11 more minutes longer than Kansas City. And Kansas City didn't have the ball often, but when they did, particularly in the second half, they came to play. Kansas City outscored Philadelphia 24-11 in the second half, man. Think about that, 24-11. And Philadelphia came out and they were moving the ball and defense was getting hyped. But as you mentioned before about Mahomes, we've been talking about Magic Mahomes and everything. I want to call him Gritty Mahomes because everybody knows his leg was hurting when he came in the second half, and they talk about it checking for PEDs. But he's able to come back out. But when he ran that last scramble, man, basically on one leg, and he did it anyway, and I said to myself, now, if you don't know anything about football, NFL football, and you're a fan of a franchise that is not really successful, you just saw what a real quarterback is. Because back in the day, that's what it was. There are times when your quarterback has to rise up to the occasion and lead your team. He got to put it on his shoulders, put it on his back, and despite sometimes being hurt, he has to rise up and do what he had to do. And Mahomes did that. I mean, of course, you think about collectively, their defense, say what you want to. We talked about that defense earlier in the year. They weren't all this and that. They were ready. They were pumped up. It was more or less, we talked earlier about chemistry. There was a lot of chemistry from against Kansas City Chiefs, and they came out ready to play. And the other part of it, too, is when you think about it, you think about, like I said before, some of the wide receivers that came over and had never won before, and some of the other players, I mean, like Smith, Smith-Schuster started balling, right? Come out of nowhere. You sitting there going like, is he back in Pittsburgh? But when at key moments, and I think that's what leaders do, guys like Kelsey and also Mahomes, they have that winning attitude along with Andy Reid, and they drive you to say, it's time to make some plays. And I think when you get on those type of teams, you see what Randy Moss, how he started playing at least for that one season in New England. When you're around winners and guys that really want to win like that, they start turning things on. And I want to say, hey, put the running back Pacheco, wow.
Yeah.
I saw that after the first game he started, I was like, they have something dangerous. And he runs so hard to be so little, to be small. He runs so hard with like violently runs. And that's exactly what they needed. Damn shame that Airbnb wins again and the two losing coordinators get jobs. Really? Damn. I'm sitting there going like, that's going to be one of my last, probably my last second shot, but really. But overall, I just felt like Kansas City had that, they had that fire, that taste, that grit. And you could just see why Kelsey, some people like Kelsey, some people don't. But the way that his emotion at the end of the game, what he was talking about, I think that was real. From the standpoint of me, it's like, didn't nobody think we was going to win this shit. Nobody thought we was going to win. I was like, yeah, tell them, bro, because, I mean, you kind of thought they were going to be okay, but, you thought about Cincinnati so-called owning them. And then, of course, Philadelphia, where they were playing, people thought that it was no You know, a lot of people said that I read some of the so-called experts that they were going to hold Kansas City less than 20 points. I was like, I want that money.
Good luck.
I said, I'm going to take that money right now. And I was like, I wasn't even going to bet on the Super Bowl until I saw that. I was like, you know what? That's easy money right there. You're going to hold them to less than 20 points? Yeah, but Jalen Hurts is a tough young man. But you know, with and everybody's talking about the refs. Get off this real quick about the one play and then the holding. If you really watch the play when they slowed it down, the defender grabbed the receiver twice.
Right.
That's what nobody talking about. He grabbed him on because the receiver talks about it. He does what we call an inside out move. So you go inside and then you spin the other way and go on the outside for the route to finish the route. So he grabbed him initially, and then when he got away from him, he grabbed him again. But nobody talks about that. All they talk about is, oh, the last, you know. And Greg Olsen, bro, I ain't mad at you. I know you making a lot of money, and I know you trying to make everybody feel good. But when you sit there and look at that damn play, you know he grabbed that dude twice. When they slowed it down, and I understand you say, well, you shouldn't make that call during that part of the time of the game. Okay, I get that.
I don't agree with that. I never agreed with that.
I mean, but if that's what you want to say as a player, I'm okay with that. But don't sit up here and act like it was a travesty, like nothing happened. It did happen. And if you want to go tit for tat about referees messing up, say what you want to. Say what Blackthorne mentioned about experience, right? And the lack of experience for the team. For instance, like with Philadelphia and the way their coach was acting sometimes. But the lack of experience, I think, really hurt Philadelphia. And from the standpoint of, too, where the metal, and what I mean by that, metal, I'm not saying M-E-T-A-L, y'all. Let me help y'all, M-E-T-T-L-E. Look that up if you need to. Anyway, but the metal that this team showed goes a long way in the way the toughness. And most importantly, I heard a quote from one of the Philadelphia wide receivers. And he said, normally they usually always go on fourth down, right? They always go for it no matter what, if they're close, and they get it. But when they said that, when the coach decided to kick the field goal and they only went up 6, he said in his back of his mind, I know we're going to lose. He said, now this is during the game. He said, when he decided not to go for it, I knew we were going to lose. And I'm like, damn, really? Don't you keep fighting?
Yeah.
Don't you keep fighting? And I'm sitting there like, wow. But it's what it was. I mean, you got to give it up to Kansas City. They're very tough and whatnot. And real quick about Rihanna, really. So I'm going to go after the NFL because, hey, you got us again. You duped us. And the one thing or two things about Rihanna that's usually connected with Rihanna is, a little, being sexy, right? And sensual and all that stuff. And we got her in a tracksuit, bro, for real. I was like, man, you got to come down here with a tracksuit on? I mean, I'm just saying the outfit itself. And that's fine. I mean, it's cool. She was pregnant, and that's whatever it is. But the NFL duped us because they should have been like, look, here's a condition. It's going to be what it is. Then people would have been cool. But they didn't do that. They, again, got us like Lucy has done Charlie Brown forever in the damn cartoon. Every time you go to kick the football, he keeps thinking in his mind that he's going to hit one day, he's going to be allowed to kick the football. And every time he walk up there, some things never change. And she pulls that damn football every time. The NFL continues to pull the football off of us all the time with all of the hype. Yeah. So guess what? What I'm going to do? From now on, I'm done. Bring me more country singers. At least I know they're going to perform.
Give me country.
Give me. I want to see my man, the guy that sung the national anthem. Yeah. I want to see his ass in concert next year. That way I ain't got to worry about it. I know he going to sing. He going to make you have a little tearjerker. I am done. Jay-Z, for real, bro? That's what we're doing now.
Yeah,
we already know, though.
In a Teletubby suit.
Yeah, I'm saying they're going, you got a Teletubby tracksuit on. I ain't mad at you, Rihanna. You got your money. You got to do what you got to do. They let you do it. You got your money. I'm happy for you. Keep sticking them. Keep getting that money. But overall, for people, if you say, oh, it wasn't that bad, you're tripping. It wasn't bad for you, but she did what she could do. All I'm saying is, NFL, you got us again. You continue to get us. You got us with Kaepernick, right? People still tripping. Oh, well, they got Kaepernick so messed up, he still want to play football. It is some bullshit going on. If y'all can't see it now, something is wrong with y'all. They kneel, come back for 1 week and kneel. So to make sure that the African American players don't strike, dude, they are running a monster strategically political game at our expense, and y'all still buying into it. I am too, to a point, but I see y'all. I always see y'all. I see y'all, motherfuckers. I see y'all. See y'all now.
Can I get a follow up on that real quick?
Go ahead, because I want to get back to the game later.
I would say this, man. I don't know how you can blame the NFL for Rihanna, bro. I just don't understand that, man. I'm pretty sure they didn't tell her to put that suit on. Now, I know you can be mad because you didn't see what you want to see, but realistically, I don't see where Rihanna is. Rihanna is, man. It is what it is, bro. For some reason, she want to put that suit on and try to hide the fact that her belly's out there. You know, I get that. I want to go with this though, man. And I knew this and I forgot to say when I was speaking earlier. If you look at some of this talent that the Kansas City Chiefs picked up, and I text you guys this during the game. I mean, like you said about the running back, 7th rounder, Rutgers, right? You look at Tony. If you believe it or not, the Giants drafted him last year. Look what this cat did in the Super Bowl. Think about the quarterback that San Francisco played this year, 7th round. So I'm tired of Mel and all these guys, 1st, 2nd round, because realistically, a lot of these scouts don't know what they're doing. They have no idea because you have to draft people that fit into your team, your scope, what's going on. That running back may not work for no other team, but he works well for Kansas City. And that's where Andy Reid is a master. So I'm tired of these 1st round picks that are basically 1st, 2nd, 3rd round. You got guys in the 6th or 7th round that play big this year in the NFL. Huge. They got opportunities. And they always probably can. They never get the opportunity. Because look at you in the 6th, 7th round. Forget all that nonsense. Do your homework. But again, Rihanna, bro, I can't blame the NFL for Rihanna, bro. I'm sorry, man. I mean, to me, she's a video. I'm just going to say this. In my opinion, that's a video performer, bro. She's a video performer. And I will look at what you put up last week of her all day than to see her on stage. That's enough. A still of her is enough for me. Because that's all she is. She's a pretty face, lack of talent. And that's what we saw. And that's where the disappointment comes from, because we expected more of a performance, and she doesn't have it in her. She doesn't have it in her, bro. Most of them do. I'm going to say this. Drake, to me, sounds like he's drunk half the time when he's rapping. He does. Like he's high as this guy's making millions. You got to be kidding me. They go in the studio, turn the reverb all the way up. I mean, all the way up. And these cats come out and make millions. I ain't mad at your hustle, but don't call it music because it's not. Don't call that a performance because it's not. It really isn't. I bet the people that are signing off, they're laughing their way to the bank. Damn, can you believe people are buying this? Can you believe they're buying this?
I want to go back to the game because I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, one of the things that it seemed like Kansas City wanted to take away from Philly, they were like, your running backs aren't going to beat us, because Philly was touted for having a great running game. I think Hurts had 70 yards in the game and three touchdowns, and probably should have got MVP if he didn't fumble the ball. But it seemed like Kansas City's defense said, you know what? Your running backs are not going to beat us. We're going to put scouts on everybody, but your running backs will not beat us. You got to beat us by your arm. And Philly damn near did that with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, them getting a lot of looks. But yeah, and I just saw that the Kansas City defense was just on point. And then the Philly defense, if you're the number one defense and you let a team score 38 points, you know, who are you playing defense against? Because I saw 3 games last season where they did hold New Orleans to, like, I think under 20 points, and New Orleans won that game. But the game against Washington, the game against Dallas, they couldn't hold those offenses. And I kind of thought, if they can't hold those offenses, they're not going to be able to hold this offense. Black or Ice?
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, I think that's key. But I think, too, that they got caught up in the moment. And I think the defenders when you haven't been there before, and you have people that have not been there before, they start watching Mahomes, right? And he start dinking and bloop, 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 bloop. And like I said, the way that the running back was moving, was happening. And notice too, until later, Kelsey started out well. He got a few passes early on, but he almost became a non-factor.
Yeah, they started double teaming him, and
he started. Yeah, Mahomes started using other people. So that tells you they were on point with that. And then the fact that, like I said, that he ran the way that he ran that last scramble. I mean, he was on point. In Philadelphia, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I know the Philly fans, they crushed right now," but they really thought they were going to win that game. But I say this about only a few quarterbacks. When you have a guy like Mahomes and really knows how to win, and he knows his personnel, and he motivates them. And me and Kelsey had this connection that's second to none, right? But when you get the other guys buying in, and again, the defense really bought in. It's like when you remember Tampa Bay, when Tom Brady was leading those guys, other guys was getting hyped up and whatnot because they wanted to win. Winning is contagious. That attitude is contagious for good teams. But Philadelphia, I think, is going to be good down the line. But you ran into a buzzsaw because they swore they had that game, bro.
Yeah.
They had that. When they went to halftime, they like, this is locked up. And when they said my man got shot and they gave him a couple PEDs, he came out like, what? Like, y'all ready for this? And they're looking at each other like, what happened? What happened? It's Atlanta all over again, bro.
Yeah. Black, you had the last word on this. The way Kansas City came out in the second half and just marched down the field, you were like, okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, I think I spoke earlier about Andy Reid making changes on offense. Philly's defense in that fourth quarter made no adjustments.
Right.
I mean, they gave you the same play, bro, on the opposite side of the field with different numbers, the same exact play, and no one out there out of 11 men saw it and was like, no, we got to do this, whatever the case may be. And that's where it was. They basically embarrassed them. It made it look like the Three Stooges on certain plays that they just kind of ran. And to me, like I said earlier, the defense, it might be the defensive guard, I'm not mistaken, of Philadelphia. I'm not sure. But he's got a job from that. I don't get it because you made no change. You made no adjustments. You stayed with everything. So what basically happened, Andy Reid saw what you was doing within a halftime. He found ways to take advantage. And when you should have saw, you got laptops on the sideline, everything on the sideline. When you saw what they were doing, you got to make your adjustments, but they didn't know how to. Philly didn't. They kind of basically just kept doing the same thing. And at times they look stupid. They look ill-prepared. And they look stupid because Andy Reid was just basically, him and the enemy was just basically tearing them apart softly, just kind of tearing them apart slowly, because there's no way those 2 touchdowns should have been that wide open, bro. And I got to give the Juju Smith, because to me, when he chose not to come to Baltimore, I was like, Juju don't want to win. He don't want to play. He don't want to do anything. I was wrong, man. That cat, man, he balled out on Sunday, bro. When they needed him, he was there. And again, the player that used to play with the Giants, number 19, that run back, nobody talks a lot about that, but that punt, come on, man. That cat should have scored. He should have scored. He was kind of slowing up and kind of like trying to direct, just go to the end zone, man. Go to the end zone. He should have scored. He had it. But he was kind of like, no, do this. I'm like, bro, just run, go. But good game, bro. Good game. Like I said, I think Philly, they got a lot to build on. They'll be back. If they can kind of keep things together. They got to kind of do a couple of different things with defense. But that receiver from Alabama,
Smith,
that brother's worth the price of admission, without a doubt. He's worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Let's go to NBA basketball. There was a lot of stuff that happened after we got off the air last week, a lot of trades. I did not see KD going to Phoenix because KD wanted to go to Phoenix. Now they got a super team over there. Of course, we talked about Kyrie going to Dallas, but some of the transaction, Josh Hart going to the Knicks, I think is going to pump some blood into the Knicks because he's a baller. I've been watching him for a long time. Not saying they're going to get to the championship, but he's a guy that is somebody to be reckoned with. But some of the transactions, some of the things in your eye test of the NBA, sir.
Yeah, well, Kyrie going to Dallas, and I've been reading some things now that people were saying that Brooklyn was trying to hold the Lakers hostage for getting Kyrie. I was like, y'all forgetting that owner should have let you know there's no way in hell he was going to send Kyrie on his dime to LA. I told y'all that before. He'll send you anywhere else, but you were not gonna go play with your friend after where you basically disrupted my franchise. But the Kevin Durant thing was interesting, and I thought it was when I looked at it, I thought it was kind of weird. But then I went and read some more things, and I found out that it was kind of, it was. I thought it was cool on both parts because with Kyrie leaving, they basically were saying, okay, now we're rebuilding. We're trying to put some other things together. Because I heard one of the things that Kevin Durant asked for is when y'all talk about rebuilding and trying to put this together, I need y'all, and I told you guys this before, I need you to go get Siakam from Toronto.
Yeah,
he said, I want to play with Siakam. And I'm like, yeah, I would rock with that. And evidently they were like, hey, our hands are tied. We can only do so much. So tell you what, you've been a good soldier, even though we tried to trade you before. You demanded a trade and you did whatever. And I think they just literally said, you know what? The hell with it. We're going to send you to Phoenix. We're going to try to work this out. Because he no matter, even when Durant asked to be traded, when he came back, he came out and balled out. He played hard. He did what he's supposed to do. You didn't hear him crying about it. He kind of shunned about talking about it anymore because he did want to be traded, but he came and balled out. And I think they said, look, hey, you was fair with us. It doesn't happen often in sports and definitely in business. But when they said, you've been fair with us, we're gonna kick you out there if they can find a way to give us something back. So I thought that was interesting too. And even though it was crazy, when we get out this and leave some more from Black Store, I still think, and people don't agree with this, and I'm not saying they gonna win the championship or nothing, but I think the moves that the Lakers made their team better. And people, still talking about D'Angelo Russell snitching and all. He was 12 anyway. But I think some of the moves that they made can really help them if they're going to try to make a push. Because if they're guys that want to be there, and they're guys that really are not caught up in whatever, like Westbrook was. Who knows what's going to happen with him? But I think that if they want to make a run, there are enough guys there with the talent that are going to be unselfish. And if LeBron and AD are healthy for 2/3 of the rest of the way, they might make it. Because you start looking at them right now, they're only like 2 games outside of the playoffs.
But they're like 1-8 since they got rid of Russell.
Westbrook?
Yeah.
How many games have they played? I mean, how many games has D'Angelo Russell played?
I'm not sure how many games he played, but since Russell hasn't been in the lineup, they are 1-8.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with the one when they first made the trade. I'm still open to them not being halfway bad. I'm not saying they're gonna win anything like that too, but we'll see. Because if they let those guys play, like I'm telling you, D'Angelo Russell is coming out there trying to play. Some other guys coming out there to play. They have some decent players. But and I'm saying they're going to win anything or championship. But I think it's interesting too with the other team is Golden State, because Golden State is right there in that mix. You might see Golden State have to play they end up being the play-in game, try to find their way into the playoffs. And that's a team you do not want to see in the playoffs. Memphis, you do not want to see Golden State coming in as a play-in winner. So a lot of great moves. The whole Kyrie Luka thing, it's cool. It's cool. It's cute. It's nice. They ain't going nowhere. Last year, okay, a lot of stuff happened. You can write this down. I bet you they're not in the Western Conference Finals this year. How about you bet that? How about you bet that? I bet you don't have enough people. Last year, Luka really okay, watch. Have you been watching Denver?
Yeah.
Right? The Clippers look halfway decent. There are some teams with some players, and Denver's not going to lay down. So you got a lot of teams that are playing, and hell, even though they're not going to make it, certain nights you don't want to play OKC. Because that Gilgeous-Alexander, I trade for him tomorrow. He is, oh man, he can play. So with all that being said, I think it's going to be a lot of parity, like it's going to be in college basketball, but in the NBA, it's going to be a lot of parity because now you got all these moving parts, and we'll see what happens. And all Phoenix is doing it. Phoenix is so happy that they got Kevin Durant. Everybody is like, even Ayton said, I'm ready to play now. I said, what?
Yeah.
He said, Kevin Durant, oh, we ready to go now. We ready to go try to beat somebody. I was like, How long have you been playing? And how long have you been with this franchise? And how much money have you collected? And all of a sudden, Kevin Durant comes, and all of a sudden, you get a little dog game. Anyway.
Well, Black, the two stories that stand out to me is the steal of the trade is Crowder to Milwaukee. I don't think people are talking about that. Milwaukee's on an 11-game winning streak. They're about a half game off that lead in Boston. And then the funny story was Pat Riley. They were trying to trade a Lowry, and Pat Riley couldn't get in contact with Pat Riley because he was asleep to get rid of Lowry from the Miami Heat. Your eye test of the NBA.
Wow, I didn't hear that because I know they want him out there bad, man. The Heat want to. I'm surprised they didn't pack him up and put him on the Greyhound. They want him out there bad. I don't, to me, I mean, you're right. I think Crowder to the Bucks, to me, with all the fanfare, Durant, I think that's the best move of any of the trades. I really do. I look at, D'Angelo going to the Lakers. It's going to be an upgrade from Russell. Yeah, but I just don't think it does going to do much for LA. In the long haul, I think they'll make it in. I think they might, might get to the play-in. I don't see them doing much better than that. And this, to me, a lot of times on paper, things look good, but it's still got to mesh on the court. I just don't know. And that's when I look at Durant going to Phoenix. Oh, you can get hype. And no matter where Durant goes, you get hype because he won a championship before. There was hype when he came to Brooklyn. How'd that pan out, bro? I mean, it was all hype and everything. So my point is, I got to see it in action. And I remember when it happened, if I remember correctly, boom, you text, who's going to play defense?
Yeah.
And that is a big thing in Phoenix, bro. Who's going to play? You think Ayton going to play defense? Who's playing defense? And I don't know. I look at them and I'm like, I just don't. As a well-rounded team, I don't see it in Phoenix. I just don't. I mean, I'm happy that Durant landed there. Of all places, they're going to probably trade him. He landed there, and I agree with Ice. I think they kind of felt like they kind of owed him something in a sense because when he backed off his trade demand, he gave them no problems. He came and he played, he balled. He was in a situation where do you want him here, have him unhappy, or you want to maybe gain something out of it? And they got a lot of draft picks. So in the future, they can rebuild and come back again in that sense. I still think, that Dallas, if it's done correctly, can do some damage. I think that Urban trade, if he goes out there and play every night and give it what it has and kind of blends in, I think that team can do it, man. I think they can make it to the conference finals. I do like Denver in the West. I am losing a lot of interest when it comes to Memphis. Not basically on the court. I think to me, Memphis act like they won 3 championships already.
Yeah.
In their head, they're walking around like they won 3, and it's like you got to go through them. And I'm like, you guys haven't done nothing yet. Other than highlights, you haven't done anything. So I don't understand it. So to me, I'm not sure how they're going to play out, but I do believe the Lakers, what I found to be interesting, some people may look at this and go, it's no big deal. But I saw the highlight, and I think you might even sent the picture, when LeBron broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Why is Anthony Davis on the sideline looking like he's lost? And then he said afterwards, he didn't realize LeBron, bro, come on. Bro, nobody in America, most people in America realized that night he was breaking it. And you sitting there, what are you doing? So I don't know if there's something between those two, or LeBron may have said something, because Anthony Davis kind of comes off to me like if you say something hurt his feelings, he hangs on to it for a long time. You don't let it go. He's in his feelings, in his emotions. And maybe LeBron says something to him the night before or the day before, who knows? But to me, I don't know if they have. I give it with LeBron, but the rest of that team, I don't know if it's there for them to kind of make a run and be anything significant, be strong. And I agree. I think Golden State, keep an eye on, man, because they make it in, which I think they might. If they make it in, don't forget, man, Steve Kerr still can coach. But that's hilarious, man. Pat Riley was sleeping.
Yeah, he was sleeping. They couldn't get in contact with him to pull the trigger on the Lowry trade.
Who wanted Lowry? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I have no idea who would want Lowry at this particular point. Maybe the Clippers. I don't know. To back up the point guard there, I have no idea who would want Lowry at this particular point. I mean, because
I can't imagine, man. I mean, I just can't see it, bro.
Yeah, he's not giving the Heat anything at this particular point, and I don't even know why the Heat went after him. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he was done. Right after that championship, he was basically done. Yeah.
Let's go to college b-ball, and I'm gonna stay with Black for the 2 weeks in a row. Watching college basketball, of course, Purdue goes down to number 3. Alabama is the number 1 team. First time in 20 years, Alabama's been number 1. over Houston. It's almost like they're afraid to give Houston that number one spot because they're not going to have it long. But you have Kansas, who is number 5, followed by Texas, Virginia, with some big wins this weekend over Duke. They're still trying to say that was a controversial game. Whatever. Followed by Baylor, Tennessee at number 10, Marquette at number 11, Kansas State, Gonzaga, Indiana moves 4 spots to number 14, followed by Miami, Xavier, St. Mary's, second Creighton, Iowa State, UConn, San Diego State, who's a really good team. If you stay up a little late and watch the West Coast games, check out San Diego State, TCU, North Carolina State, Providence, who won their last game, and Florida Atlantic, claiming the number 25 spot. Black, what's your eye test, man?
I noticed something, man. I know this year you want to beat me, because, I won last year. I'm the reigning champion. I understand that. But I noticed, most of the time we do this segment, man, you don't really give hardcore fact information, man. You tell us about teams that ain't gonna got a chance to win, like San Diego State, they ain't gonna win, man. You don't kind of deliver the goods, man. And you are the basketball aficionado on this show, man. So we kind of look for you to kind of basically set the tone. And I'm not sure why you don't, man. I was trying to say to myself, I know, because okay. I mean, because to me, you always be the Black J Bill.
Because I realize that you sitting back taking notes of everything I say. me and Ice realize you back taking notes. But I'm gonna get more. I got more to give.
Hey man, with that being said, Texas to me sometimes disappoints me, man. I kind of think they're gonna kind of make a move. With that being said, too, I'm gonna say I know they won it last year. I'm not saying they're gonna win it this year. But Kansas keep kind of like, and Baylor is starting to make a little move, man. Baylor's starting to strengthen himself a little bit. I like Purdue, then in some parts of me don't really like them. I kind of feel them a little bit, and sometimes I don't. But I'm going to say this, man. Don't rule out Kansas. It's a possibility. Don't rule them out. Don't rule them out. And not San Diego State.
Rolling with Kansas again, folks. He's rolling with Kansas.
I'm just saying, don't rule them out, folks. Take a good look. Bell Self only missed 4 games, if I remember correctly. So, if he can beat the Feds, he might get back to the Final Four.
So a lot of people aren't looking at this team, and this team was in the thick of things in the last couple of years. UCLA, who's moved up to number 4, and a lot of people aren't really paying attention to. I don't know why they're not paying attention to them, but Virginia is a scary team too. What bothers me about Purdue Ice is their guard play. Their guard play, freshman guards, they play big at sometimes. Other times they can't. What I've noticed that teams move the big man around a little bit, get them a little tired, and they're able to dominate the game after they get the big man out the box. But Purdue is a team that I just don't trust. Even though they've been number 1 a few times, I just don't trust. And I got to see Houston make more free throws in clutch times before I can trust them going through the tournament. Ice, your eye test.
Larry Minshew, baby. Larry Minshew.
Tradition. You can see it on his face when he
look.
He wasn't gonna make that shot.
Look. His hand's so big, he's had to put the ball like Shaq, put it up there, just throw it up there like you playing Papa shot. But when you look at Houston, man, very good team. You just don't know though. They are so scary. They're very scary to me when it comes to the way that they play ball. And I think that might be a problem for them in the tournament. But you're right, UCLA. Great guard play, nice inside play. They probably have 2 of the best guards in the country, right? And they are going to be a problem because they play defense. And Mr. Mick Cronin is he's always screaming about something. He reminds me of a young Huggins in Cincinnati, always screaming at people about something. So to see them number 4, I think they're right in the right spot right now. They've been coming on for a long time. They've been not receiving a lot of love, but now I think the voters are starting to see that, see their worth and see how good they are. You're right about Purdue. I watched Purdue play Ohio State, and Purdue is very inexperienced at the guards. They shoot a lot of shots, a lot of jumpers, a lot of threes, and they kind of interact in and out with the big man. And when they're on, they're very difficult to beat because they got shooters from all over. They got people that are very athletic. But when they miss, and they have those young guys, as you mentioned, these freshmen playing, it causes a lot of problems for them trying to play against better teams. So interesting there. And yeah, ye old Kansas is still lingering around. Black Thor, pick them again, please. Do me a favor, please pick them. But they still lingering around. And, Bill Self knows the game. They didn't catch him. They tapped him. They said, we thought that was you that was stealing, but it wasn't you, but we know that you associated some way. So yeah, Bill Self is still doing this thing, and they're gonna be around. But Virginia at 7, I told you, Puma, I know you like them. I need to see something else, though. I need to see something else. I really do need to see something else, because every year we look at them, you want to put them up there. They remember the year that they had the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
I was all excited, and about the second round, like, you go, whoop, there they go again. And they usually do that because they disappoint you. But I want to throw a team out there that nobody's talking about, and I think they might have already clinched their conference, but you won't see them in the top 25, but they're playing great basketball, and they might make a little small run. So Black Thor, close your ears, man, real quick. But it's too late. But Kent State is playing a real good ball in their conference, playing a lot of good basketball. They have some very talented players, and they have a lot of great chemistry. And just the way that they play, it's like they have nothing to lose. And I think that could serve them well when they do make the tournament, depending on where they fall. But it's going to be very interesting as we get close. And I'm gonna say it right now. Don't worry about North Carolina. I'm not gonna say nothing else about y'all ever again. Y'all don't want to play. You do not want to play. There is no way you're losing these games and with any effort. They've done everything. That your centers cussed you out, saying everybody should quit. You're losing teams that you should not be losing to. It's almost as if they don't care. I don't know if they think they're going to turn it on, but the way it's looking for me right now, and I have looked at their schedule, I don't see a way for them to make it in the tournament. I just don't.
I don't see them or Kentucky making it into the tournament. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago, they had 7 games left, and they go through a murderous row. But, I wasn't really impressed with the all players meeting this late in the season. What happened to you guys when you lost 5 in a row earlier in the season? That was a time for an all players meeting to turn the season around then. You having a meeting and trying to turn the season around now, it's too little too late. Duke may squeak by because they're playing hard, and they may get the nod to get in. But you got too many ACC teams that are really good. Miami, if you haven't checked out Miami, they just beat North Carolina. They are a good team. Clemson, North Carolina beat Clemson, but Clemson's a really good team. North Carolina State, they just got beat barely. There are some good teams, and of course, Virginia is the highest ranked ACC team. Those are the teams to watch in the ACC. But Duke may get by. Hopefully, Syracuse will not squeak by. They won't let Boeheim in there, because I think they just beat somebody reputable. And I think they beat North Carolina State in at home. And so please don't let Boeheim in, because they don't deserve. That Syracuse team does not deserve to be in the tournament. But they'll figure out a way to get them in because of Boeheim. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think Boeheim should retire, bro. And I know I'm kind of talking about 2 different sports. Take Popovich with you, man. Go on, man. Pop, I love you, boss. I know we talk about college basketball with Pops. It's time, man. It's time. You're hurting that franchise, man. You're hurting them. You're severely hurting them. Go upstairs, do something else. You have basically have qualified people on your bench. And honestly speaking, Pop, I know what you accomplished. You're being selfish, man. Think about all the good coaches that have left that organization that could have been, you could have put up there, man. Beckham should have been head coach of that team, man. Time to go, Pop. Same thing this cat here, man. This cat in Syracuse, Boeheim, come on, man. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Stop playing, bro.
He should have been gone a long time ago. There are other 2 stories in college basketball. Of course, South Carolina, they solidified their number 1 ranking, beating LSU in a game where LSU just did not belong on the same court as South Carolina. And then the week before, South Carolina beat UConn, and Gino had some words for the refs, I guess he said, and Coach Staley had some words for him for how she coaches and things. So there's a war of words going back and forth. And then you have the incident that happened at New Mexico State with the hazing of players. I'm gonna go Ice first on these two stories.
Yeah, let's stop right there in regards to UConn or let's say uh, South Carolina, because Don Staley, I've watched her in the past, and I've seen her play, I've seen her teams compete, but I literally watched that game against UConn, and I took some time to really look at it and analyze it. And she has some very intense young ladies on that team, and they don't do it because they're scared. They're doing it because they believe, and they're along, and they match up very well with UConn. And UConn was, Gino was calling all kind of stuff. He was throwing water on the floor, and even if they had their Page was is out for the whole year, even if she was on that team right now, I think they would have a problem with South Carolina, because they embrace and take on the attitude of Don Staley, way that they play, and they believe they're that damn good. And when they step up, they are a problem. They are a problem. It's not about, they number one, it's all this fluff. They're that damn good. And when you watch them play, UConn has some very good players too. But the big girls, the ladies on the inside work, the young ladies on the outside come out, and then even the freshmen that they have, like the freshmen to come in, and even the freshmen at the point guard, they believe. They're going to be very difficult to beat, particularly if they're running the way that they are. And then, of course, you got the player of the year, defending player of the year, but my goodness, they really come at it. And real quick, New Mexico State, the whole hazing thing, man, just blows my mind, because it's like when people are not paying attention, then coaches are able to get things off like that. And the way they talk about it, they just shut the program down. I'm like, in 2023, you mean to tell me you're able to get away with things like that? There was a time when Bobby Knight was a tyrant, and they never really talked about it. But then after a while, some of the practices that he had started to seep out, and to the point of where you're choking a kid. So a lot was probably going on there. Nobody said anything because out of respect for Bobby Knight. But in 2023, you have a coach doing what he was doing, what they were doing down in New Mexico State, and you're not winning. If you winning, then you might go, oh man, y'all, that's a little crazy. But he's on them like that. But the Bob Huggins of the world. But when you're not winning and you're treating kids like that, I just don't understand how you allow a Division I college program with all of the cameras and everything that's going on around that program. You just let it get that far out of hand. I don't get it. I really don't, because there are so many kids that would love to play Division I basketball, and there's so many coaches that would love to be in that position in New Mexico State. And I just don't understand how you just let that unravel the way that it did.
Black Door, you take a crack at these two stories, man.
I'm gonna do the hazing first, man. And when I hear stuff like this, it's like when I said about Bobby Knight choked it. Ain't nowhere in the world you choke my son, bro. There's nowhere in the world I'll meet you in the parking lot. So even the hazing and all this stuff, you're right. 2023, these parents, bro, got to stop sending their kid off thinking they're going to the pros and forgetting, because it's not like you basically decided, okay, you woke up one morning, I'm going to. They came to your house, they recruited all this stuff, so you must have saw something in this individual. But even if you did, why you turn your kid loose? I know they're a young man. Why and not paying attention to what's going on? Now understand, you're not maybe doing a little checkup every now and then, speaking with your son, and that's what always boggles my mind. It's like when this stuff goes on, I don't even understand why when they're considered collegiate athletes, they gotta be talked to down, no respect. I hate when kids just do that, bro. I do. Winning or losing, they're still young men. They're still human beings. But we grew up in a society where the coach can treat you like, dog mess. Oh yeah, that's like, no, it shouldn't be that way, bro. And then we sit around later and talk about mental health. Then that's the problem. I don't understand it. So I'm gonna leave that there for that. Geno Smith, man. Geno Ariella, that son of a bitch. I don't pay attention to him anymore. I really don't. I live in Connecticut, man. I think we're tired of him up here because he's always whining and complaining. Bro, you won many times. You're not always going to win. UConn's not the favorite anymore. And to me, he has something against women that beat him. If you go back a long time ago, remember Tennessee? The coach of Tennessee is always, if he loses to a woman, he reminds her, bro, you're coaching a women's sport. Keep that in mind first. If you're who you think you are, drop UConn. Let's go to the pros. See what pro team is going to hire your little Italian ass. I'm being honest with you. So enough already, bro. I seen what you did to Candace Parker. Now you want to go after someone else. You're not what you used to be. UConn is not what it used to be. I'm not even going to get into the little new shit what's going on. You went out there, you put the best foot forward, you lost, go home, kiss your wife, maybe make love to her every now and then. How about that?
Sound like a last second shot. Wow, okay. Moving right along. All right, questions from the squad. Ice, what's your first question?
Do you think that the WNBA will ever get any respect? Because this when you're hearing this issue about the flight issue about flying coach and them trying to rally around trying to get charter flights. And I listened to I think the president of WNBA came out and said that it would cost so much money and there's a lot of things involved and the whole league would have to have it. And the answer that she gave was more or less like, that sounds good, but we simply don't have we are not generating the revenue to make that possible. And I'm like, whoa. And then some of the women are like, well, I'll pay for my own flight. I'll give up my money that I'll earn on the circuit as far as like marketing. But the whole point of it is when you heard the president say something, it was like, unless you come up and they start giving out free flights, it ain't happening. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna say this, man. Most of them, it used to be all of them, WNBA teams are owned by NBA franchises. In New York had them for a while, New York Liberty, and they sold it off. I believe in Vegas, the Raiders own the Aces. So my point is, for the players, the women, I'm directing this towards you. When you all get smart enough, and I don't mean this with no disrespect, to realize there is no league without you, don't go on the court. You're begging for something that should be natural. You mean to tell me Al Davis' son can't pay to fly? They just won a championship. If he wanted to, can't pay to fly you on a charter plane? They don't want to. They don't respect you. It's not about the money you're making. There's enough money being made in that league. There's enough. I can pay for a damn charter flight if I wanted to. So don't give me that. To me, when Sue Bergen come out and say she made more money playing in foreign countries than she played here, tells you all you need to know. It is what it is. But yet, you want to play in front of your friends, your family, they're taking advantage of you. They are, flat out. And they are keep taking advantage of you. So guess what? Instead of, basically, I'm being honest, going to the Pride Parade, because that's where they kind of basically putting urine in your eyes in the first place. They get behind all this. They allow you to be the pride and the gayness. Don't play the game until you get up on a charter flight. Think about it. You think they're going to fold the league or they're going to put you on a airplane? So to me, y'all are whining, but you take no steps. You make no movement. Your union is weak. Seriously. If you decide not to play, guess what? I guarantee you, they'll probably Uber you everywhere you need to go.
I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think they have the leverage to do that. I don't think they have the power to do that. Nobody's watching. Nobody's supporting this league.
Then don't show up.
Yeah. I mean, go somewhere else and play, but I don't think they have that leverage. I think they know they don't have that leverage where they just stop playing and people go, oh, we got to, stop the presses. We got to make sure that they play. No, it wouldn't be the same response as the NBA or college basketball. It would not be the same response. So go somewhere else and play. Don't play here because they're not going to support you here. I don't think, maybe 25 years down the road, we'll see some, equal treatment. I don't think it's going to happen. And I said this before. I said a couple of weeks ago. Until women support this league, the league's not going anywhere because men aren't going to support it the way women would support it. But women don't care. So it's not going to be supported.
I said a long time ago, there's a reason why the WNBA plays their season in the summertime. Because he can't compete with the others. I said that from the beginning. and from the standpoint, and I think that's what the NBA thinks about this league. They see it as substandard. They see it second class, and that's why they're not getting what they're asking for. And it was mentioned before about don't play. I get that too, but I'm gonna say this, and it's not gonna be very popular. If they don't want to play, and they don't want to show up, and they're trying to negotiate, it may not be popular, but the NBA will shut that shit down, bro. Keeping it 100. Do you think they have to have the WNBA? It's politically correct. It's like Title. It's like Title IX. It's not even like Title IX. Mm-mm. This is it politically correct that they have to have WNBA? And it's like, if you don't like it, guess what? Don't play. And I agree with the Black Throw on that. If you want to see how much leverage you have, but I don't think they would have a problem. They might catch a lot of hell from certain parties, and as Black Throw mentioned, certain groups be like, "Oh my God, look what you did! Something travesty." But the majority of people like, "That's a damn shame." You know what I'm saying? People like, "Oh well, cuz next," because people do not value it like they're supposed to. And I'm not saying that the women are not talented. I watch the playoffs. I watch the games. I love watching it, but it's missing of some vital pieces to keep you on point. I'm telling you, I used to, when they had the ABL, American Basketball League, when it was functioning before the WNBA, the Columbus Quest played in it, and they used to pack the house. There were only 6 teams in the league, but it was some of the best damn basketball, not women's basketball, but you had all Americans. You had, like the Kansas, all of these people were on the same court. So the finals was like all-star games, but it was like they were in the park playing hard as hell with some of the best. But now you have all these teams, and then all these women, because it's great that it's grown and other women are getting opportunities to make money. But we like to see competition. We want to see it, and that's what sells. Right now, everybody's getting a check, but it's like, the players, but does anybody really, who's going to be hurt if besides the players of the WNBA folds?
That's what I keep saying. It's almost as if the powers that be is like, we're just gonna let this fade out until they don't want to play, they don't want to quit, and they can never say, "Oh, we pulled the plug on it. It just died out." So they won't get any kind of pushback from like, "Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do this." Like, hey, it just died out. They couldn't sustain itself. Oh well.
I agree with that to an extent. I do, but my point is that's more reason why to basically realize, hey, if they're not going to pay you, go play somewhere else. Go do it. There's countries that are basically outside of Russia that are going to pay you, fly you, do what you need to do. Go there. Don't keep basically begging for something that you're not going to give or get. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like every year they come up with these complaints. And it's like, really? Either you take a stand or shut up. I'm being honest. Take a stand and play or shut up, because this wine, and like you said, it's not money. They don't want to put money in it for you. They don't. And if it's not, don't play there. Don't play. I'm serious. But here again, they feel like they're playing, again, for their family, little girls. Little girls ain't turning on to watch you play basketball. Let's be honest. Most of the mothers don't want their little girls to watch you play basketball. That's the honest to God truth. Whether you want to hear it or not, it is. Seriously. So you can say that all day. It shows in the numbers. You can look at Nielsen ratings. Little girls are sitting at home. Look in the stands. Look at the stands. They're not there. So that whole idea you're playing for is lost. It's gone. And it is business. And business comes down to demand and supply. If there's no demand for you, go where the demand is. Why are you going to a place where there is no demand? Stop it.
All right.
Can I say one last thing?
Oh, go ahead.
And I agree with that 100%. But like anything else, there are a lot of people, I think a lot of women on that playing the WNBA, that they're so caught up in the money, and it's not a lot of money, but the fact that they're making a little money and being over here can stay at home. I wonder if collectively would they step off, Black Thor mentioned and says, we're going to go other places and not play. There's still that collective group that still will want to be here, and they probably would. And I think to your point, Puma, this is when you would see it, and it would be like, look, if the stars don't want to play, we're going to let these other ladies play. And guess what's going to happen? As you said, they're going to let them play. and nobody's gonna watch, and they're gonna go, see, we tried, and they're gonna let it flame out. Yep. They'll still put it out there because think about it. The only things going on, and this is how I believe how they came up with the concept. The only things going on this summer, and most of those arenas is the circus, and the circus no longer exists.
I think the NBA too wanted to feel like we're doing something for the ladies. Mm-hmm. I think it started out that way, and it hasn't worked. It started out real high, and it hasn't worked, and now they don't, like you said, the backlash. They don't want to seem like they gave up on a community of women when there is no community. It really isn't. There's a real small community, and for the most part, other than the players, nobody's going to care. I mean, I like the game. I like the way they play. I like reporting on it, but if you're being treated lackluster and lack standard, you got to take a step and do something. Don't let them take advantage of you just because you love and you want to do it. It's not enough. Again, if Sue Bird can make more money outside of the country, what does that tell you? For her entire career, she only played here because she loved the game. She didn't have to play here. And the money that, I'll be honest, the money that they're making, they can make that in the regular world easy. They should be able to. Easy.
Yeah. Your question, Black.
You know, we talked about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, recently, man. And I heard this before, but he said that, he just now starting to like, LeBron and he's feel different about LeBron than before. And my question is, why would you hate LeBron? Why would Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not us in general? Why would Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have a disdain for LeBron James?
Ice?
I think it's hard for him to. He's been carrying a anger torch for a long time. He's been a bitter man for a long time, and I don't know it's because that's who he is, or he feels some kind of way. But he's been a different dude, a difficult dude for a while. I mean, as far as off the court, and as he's gotten older, he just seems like he's kind of recluse and kind of standoffish. And I think he might even felt some way about somebody finally breaking that damn record. He probably thought he was going to go to his grave and nobody was going to break it. So with that being said, I don't know. It just seems like Kareem he's been through, I'm saying you're not supposed to feel sorry for him. Like you said before about his house catching on fire, no insurance, allegedly all kind of other stuff going on. And the man has just been, like a mean grizzly bear. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just been mad. And then all of a sudden it's like, why am I still mad? And I think this is the standpoint of he's realizing that, dude, it's not that serious, man. People actually like what you've done. If you open up a little bit, he's a very intelligent individual. You know what I'm saying? He's very intelligent. And if you let people like you a little bit more, it might be cool. I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time. But when you come off and you walk around and you don't participate in a lot of stuff, I mean, dude, especially with these young people, they be like, who is that old muck anyway? They said he had the Scott Hook. What the fuck is that? They gotta go back and Google you, bro. So I think he's finally hopefully coming around and let that anger go, bro. It's not good. You've been sick. God blessed you with have his health, getting his health back. Dude, turn the page. Damn.
Well, I'm going to try to look at it from his perspective and his eyes. 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, and came to the NBA in a society where, racism was rampant, the civil rights movement, all these things were happening, and how he was trying to be pivotal in speaking his mind and getting in on the issues and doing what he had to do to try to pave the way for another generation. And then the other generation doesn't give homage or respect to that, and they're living with their issues and things, but they're not moving as progressively as the athletes in his day and age. So I can see there's some bitterness that can seep in from that, where this guy, you was told you weren't allowed to go play after high school because Lou Alcindor could have went straight from high school to the pros back in the day, but weren't allowed to do that. And I could see that, but I think as you get older and you get farther along in the journey, you start to realize some things, and you really get to sit down and talk to the younger generation and find out what their perspective is. And maybe he's gotten to that point. So I can see it both ways. But just watching him and how black folks were treated and how they were kind of treated as a spectacle back in his days, and they still are. But the money he made compared to the money they make now for lesser kind of role, lesser work, I could see it. I could see it. Black.
You know, I'm just gonna say what I believe is, bro. That's hate, bro. You hit a good point. Money endorsements, a lot of different things that he probably seen that he wasn't able to have. I can't buy the bit about the times he came up, because if you're true to all that, LeBron is black, bro. You know what I mean? LeBron is not the enemy. I don't get it. He's not the enemy, but yet LeBron has succeeded in areas that you couldn't have, and you believe that you should have, and you're gonna kind of take it out on him. And I mean, times have changed, bro. Yeah, we all are born in certain times. It's changed. So based on what you went through and what you feel, to bring that to LeBron, that anger, it's like it's wrong. In my opinion, it's wrong. Now, to say, he's going through the motherfucker's almost 80 years old, 75. You should be starting to warm up now. I would think so. I mean, how long you got to go on your journey before you start to get some compassion in your heart? I don't understand. I mean, I really don't understand. So to me, it's a lot of hate. Seriously, and I said this before with Magic Johnson. I don't understand it when you look at somebody that looks like you. They look up to you, admire you. Yeah, they might exceed doing what you're doing, but that's the problem with a lot of us. We want to keep the lid on our people. We're more happy when white people succeed and do things than when our people do. And that's what it comes down to me. He basically realized, hey, LeBron was at some point, we're getting the hype. He was getting all this. Yeah, because LeBron came out of high school. You couldn't come out of high school. That's not LeBron's fault. That's not his fault. He should have to pay a price because you couldn't. And it's what it is. It's not like he snuck into the league. It's not. So to me, again, all of that is useless, bro. We can make up a bunch of excuses, but the problem with us as black men, we carry those dumb excuses inside of us, and we don't love each other. And that's where, I guess, the point I was trying to get to.
All right. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah. Wow, I was thinking about a number of things, but my last second shot focuses on Mr. Enes Kanter, who talked about LeBron James becoming the all-time scoring leader with over 38,000 points with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he said he has no morals and no values, right? Because he doesn't care about the world, doesn't care about the issues in China, doesn't care about the other things in the world in general, and he's not an ambassador, and he just, he has all those points, no morals, no values. Mr. Kanter, let me say something to you. I mean, are you still angry that you're not in the league any damn more? Are you still mad you couldn't able to play basketball the way you wanted to? No, what I find ironic about this is the fact that you don't go after anybody else, right? It's the NBA that really dropped the ball in the whole situation when you talk about China and everything like that too. But yet you go after LeBron James. There are a number of other individuals who don't pick up the political torch and go after these causes. But yet, because it's LeBron James, you want to go after him. First of all, if you understand where LeBron James came from and what he represents, is he always the rah-rah guy? He's the perfect individual? No. But he does come from a very crazy-ass background that he was able to evolve from, and he does serve as an example for a lot of people that have no hope. And that might sound crazy that people will put their hopes and dreams or admirations to be like an individual like that when they don't have any mentors or anybody else to follow. But sometimes something is better than nothing. But to go after this guy like this, who really has not been in any trouble, and despite the situation, being raised by his mom, not having his dad in his life, and dealing with a lot of other crazy issues, but he still rose above and still serves as an ambassador in one of the most popular leagues in the world. But yeah, he's the only one you go after. Man, for real? Come on, bro. Be better than that. And you talk about people supposed to care and whatnot about you, and now you making people think your ass is crazy because you talking about they following you, they trying to kill you. Bro, what? What? Come on, man. Be better. And if you want me to think about you as a solid gentleman, think about having some compassion, understand who you represent and what you're showing. Because we all are men at the first time. I'm sure you have messed up before too. But get over it, bro. Your time is up. Let it go.
Black.
My last second shots to one coach, Andy Reid. I mean, I watched you coached up here and when we was in Philly, and basically against my Giants. A lot of times you won, you did it well, but you have basically over the years grown into who you are now. But I will say this, Andy. I know you said you're not thinking about retirement. I'm not sure, my man. I watch you kind of go across the field. It don't look good. It doesn't look easy for you. Think about your health a little, bro. A little bit. You have to. And I know it's hard to walk away from a home, so I totally get it. But think about your health, man. Think about there was a lot of late nights, a lot of late nights. What's the price to pay for it? Give us some thought. But if you continue to coach, I'll be here watching.
You know, my last second shot is Michael Jordan. I wish I was this rich where I can turn a certain age and then instead of gifts being given to me, give a gift to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. $10 million, the highest donation in about 43 years to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Happy birthday! Great gesture. Kudos to you. That was really nice. And the reason why I like it so much is because I used to do some work in hospice, and how much it means to kids who are terminally ill to go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and just be happy, maybe going to Disneyland, going somewhere where their last wish they would like to be. So kudos to you, sir, and all you that donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's our show. We will see you next week. Riri, you hurt me bad, girl. You hurt me bad. Did you all see the interview with Fletcher and Michael Strahan with an old boy?
Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
With the blouse on?
Oh Lord!
Fletcher for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh my God!
You see that? I sent you pictures.
Oh my God!
Oh, I didn't get that.
Oh my God!
Because Juju came in with a kilt, a skirt.
Yeah.
I mean, the kilt. I ain't really
I
tripping.
can roll with the kilt. I can roll with the
brother
kilt.
was wearing a blouse under his suit, bruh.
Yeah.
With a necklace. I thought it was pearls at first.
Dude, it looked like pearls. It looked Black Thor looked like the man had a canvas all under his jacket, bro.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Fletcher from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Looked like he had a canvas off. And I'm saying to myself, this got to be a joke. Because I kept waiting for somebody to laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, straight hand looking at this motherfucker like, dude, bro, what the fuck you got on?
He should just not even wore nothing under it, like Butch Lewis.
Yeah. Straight hand looking at him like this, man. What the fuck? And then he had the pearls and shit. What was that?
Yeah, it was like a necklace.
It looked like pearls, dog.
The mother of the church, man.
It was worse than church. It was look like he was flaming. I said, what the fuck you gonna tackle him dressed like that?
You know, it's funny that you say that because I look at what's the name, and I've the last several times. Remember when Cam Newton with all his press conference?
Yeah.
Guessing? Cam Newton get out of football, and you don't see him dressed like that anymore. It's like what the? I don't get it. I don't get it with him. But he always showed up like a little Robin Hood, like he was like on both sides of the fence. But Fletcher, man, if you're wearing something like that, bro, to me, you don't answer the question.
Man, look it up, bro.
I'm sitting there going like,
this is my coming out party right here.
I'm looking at it. He's like, and then his voice got softer and shit. I said,
Michael Strahan was looking at him like, what the fuck is going on?
And he's like, he had the question. He's like, well, you know, when we start to rush the quarterback, oh hell no. He done got sucked.
I thought y'all saw that. I thought you saw it.
No, I didn't see it, man.
Woo!
I gotta look it up. I didn't see it.
Straight hands are pretty.
I can't play it.
Straight hands a pretty straight up dude. You know, he probably tried to treat everybody straight.
Oh yeah.
He was looking at that motherfucker like, motherfucker.
He was trying to hide it. He was trying his best to hide it.
He was looking at him like, the fuck? What?
This motherfucker was a lavender suit with a lavender silk blouse.
It wasn't a blouse, bro. It's a canvas off. A blouse is a blouse. A blouse has motherfucking you know, the what you call it, lapels and shit. This shit was like a straight motherfucking t-shirt, like this shit right here, and just laying down like he trying to show you getting sex with some sexuality going on. And it looked like it was like silk and shit. You know, look, you got lapels, you got you know, you got with your collars, right? There wasn't no collar on this shit. This shit was like, take me and shit. Motherfucker.
Take me.
I might have to
was like, well, maybe I said, man, you crazy.
I might have to put this in overtime.
Hey, all I wanted him to do was this shit right here.
Oh, yo.
And you know, it's like, you know how a woman get hot and shit?
Yeah.
And she be like doing this, and then that motherfucker was starting to wipe his head his forehead.
I couldn't believe. I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. I thought it was a joke.
Like, are you married?
No, they're not playing, man. These cats aren't playing.
I think, are you from Atlanta?
And nobody said anything about it. The internet went wild with it, but nobody on the broadcast, you ain't hear nobody.
Nah, you ain't gonna play with that.
Nobody talked about it.
Yeah, you ain't gonna play with it.
I mean,
Real
you
quick,
say
man, any more news about Michael Irvin?
No, I think he said he was going to sue.
$100 million.
Yeah, he's going to sue them. But no, you ain't seen. They ain't even talk about Michael Irvin on there. First take, none of that stuff. Like he never existed.
Hey, and two white boys came out and said it wasn't no time long enough for him to say shit.
Yeah, they said that he didn't do anything.
He said he didn't do anything. And I was like, man, I wouldn't talk to another motherfucking soul. If I get back on there, I wouldn't talk to. And then the white girl, like, you know, they said, dude said like 45 seconds. All it was pleasantries. And she probably shook his hand. And the motherfucker said, and where he fucked up is when he said he was drunk.
And didn't know what he did. That's what
you don't know what he did. Then they chorus, oh, you know he did something. You know.
Being drunk.
Yeah.
He said he's drunk, he don't remember.
You don't remember.
The interaction.
Yep.
Then he said it didn't happen. He lied. He said it didn't happen. They got him on video. Then he said he didn't remember what he said. Strike two.
Yeah.
You know, then you got a white woman, strike three. I mean.
And they literally moved his ass out of the hotel, bro.
Yeah.
They moved him out of the hotel. They said, oh, you can't be here. And then after that, they was like, we moved you out the hotel, and then now you got to go to the crib. You got to go home. Over accusation, bro.
He probably done.
Yeah, he probably is. It's fucked up, though. I mean, I get it. And he should be smarter than that.
Yeah.
But that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why I said before, I wouldn't say shit to nobody. You look at me, I'd be like, I give you the nod, keep fucking moving. Fuck you, motherfucker. I don't know you.